All right. Let's get us into the On The Esky final round. Ding, ding. Okay, UFC 274 goes down today. We spoke about it at the top of the show. Charles Oliveira misses weight by half a pound, 220-odd grams, one human shit. I'm going to say that. I reckon I've done shits that are 220 grams. It's maybe like a nice steak. So, you know. At least, yeah, one in, one out kind of mentality there. Monks, if you wouldn't mind just bringing up the results, please, from today. We do have a new women's strawweight champion in Carla Esparza. I think we'll maybe start from the top and then just go through the top end, of the main card. So let's start with Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. So he misses weight. The UFC, they say the fight is going to go ahead. However, there'll be no champion. It'll be vacated for a while.
So Gaethje can win the belt, but Oliveira
can win it, but Oliveira can't win it. And then
7-4.
And then Oliveira can be the number one contender.
Yeah, would be the number one contender fighting whoever for that vacant belt if he wins.
What's our thoughts on that? You miss weight, which in and itself is a weird kind of thing.
So
a man called Joe Rogan has kind of speculated a fair bit.
Well, weight cutting. Well, as a comparison, when Oliveira, because he missed weight by either we couldn't exactly agree on whether it was a pound or half a pound, but he was over by a little bit. So then he had another hour to try to cut that weight. While he's losing that weight, Justin Gaethje had already put on 10 pounds. So he jumped on the scale. I think it was, in the mid 160s at that point, and it was like, this guy's still trying to cut weight, and I'm already gaining. So
the weight cut discussion, it's
10%. Usually the guys put 10%.
It's
on.
wild. It's not good for you. Like surely, going out to fight someone and potentially get tagged in your head after you've dropped 20 pounds, or however
it
much.
is advantageous though, size-wise. Like if you can have a size advantage, it definitely helps, unfortunately.
But it's going to be a discussion. As long as the UFC has the current setup with weight cutting, it's going to be a discussion. The only thing is to have more divisions.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, and maybe don't go crazy like boxing, but for these guys, the 155 to 170. You maybe bump that to 175 and put a 165 in there to start with.
And obviously the big one being light heavyweight to heavyweight. Massive jump.
Yeah, it's like put it either every 10 or if you do really want to add a whole bunch more, then put it every 5. But you don't go where boxing is. It's every half pound. So
5 pounds is 2.2 kilos. Yeah, like it's not much.
It's overkill. I think 10's a good spot.
I think 10 would be good. I'd be happy to see 2 or 3 more divisions if that.
They're trying to kill off all the lower ones, so they're not going to go lower. It's more just like middle in that middle bracket. So whether you get
poor little fellas,
you get a light heavyweight. Heavyweight becomes heavyweight, and then there's a super heavyweight.
We've seen some wars between Figgy and Moreno, and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. The goat of the little fellas, but obviously there gets to a point where they start thinking about eyeballs and that said, this lightweight division is pretty fucking stacked, and I imagine there would have been a lot of eyeballs on
that's the thing. You've got the tighter the divisions are now, they've got more guys competing in the same pool versus if they try to spread it out and then you've
rather than fighting for 15
they've got 700 fighters, I think, on contract, so they've still got shitloads of guys that are trying to get through the divisions.
Sure.
Anyway, so the rule is they did change it recently. So non-championship fights, you get the half pound extra. So you, and I think 20 odd guys were a half pound or more over on this scale.
That's fucked. So was there something wrong with the scale?
Well, that's the chat. They reset the scale overnight. The guy that was operating the scale was a bit of a stickler. But Charles Oliveira, unfortunately for him, he's in a championship fight, so he's got to make the exact weight, which is 155.
Different rules for
Doesn't
champions.
get that leniency, which is where he was over.
And is that?
Based on his team, they were at that the night before, and they were ready to go. They were happy to they're on that scale before it got reset, yada, yada. It didn't matter in the end. Charles Oliveira, a bit of a gunfight to start with. I think, I'm not sure who dropped who, but they got to the ground and then Charles locked in the rear naked choke and that was it. Justin's night was over. If if he had the title, would have equaled Khabib for most title defenses.
Really?
Yeah, right. In lightweight. So
does this break his
I don't think it counts.
Well, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. So does it?
Yeah, it's a number one contenders fight. Essentially.
Yeah. It just gets stripped of being a championship fight. Which is
we
so
all know
weird.
he's a champion.
Of course. Yeah. He got Justin Gaethje, who's a killer in the first round.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it comes down to one human shit.
Yes. or what is it? How many poots have come? What were we talking about before?
A lot of human cum would have to come out.
At least 100.
Yeah. It's not much whale cum.
No.
Yeah.
Drop in the ocean for whale cum.
Hope you have a job tomorrow.
Hey, James started that chat pre-podcast, so I'll handball it to him. Anyway,
if you're interested in how much a blue whale jizzes, it's about 20 litres.
35 pints, we were told.
Yeah, 35 pints. Fair bit of jizz.
Yes. And we head into the biology
segment. The biology segment.
You're going to get
this chat with my brother.
Full class on the Esky is what we're talking about.
Of course. Well, I got to see my brother for about 90 minutes whilst he was up from Melbourne, and we did discuss which animal would jizz the most, and the blue whale obviously is the main contender, being the heaviest animal, and we were thinking about 100 litres, but it turns out it's about 20 litres. There you go. A bit of jizz chat for you on the Esky into the women's straw weight. Now, Carla...
That's the worst segue in history. Keep going, though.
20 litres. It's like half of what these women weigh.
Stop it. Keep going.
In jizz. So the women's strawweight, Carla Esparza, she defeats the incumbent champion in Rose Namajunas in what has been described as a bit of a snooze fest.
Yeah, I saw them at the bell, and neither of them looked like they'd taken significant damage. Must have been a fair bit of wrestling involved in this. Split decision here, so I think one gave it to Rose 47-48, and then one gave it 48-47 to Carlo, but then someone gave it 49-46 to 4 rounds to 1 in the favour of Carlo. So
that says something about the judging, doesn't it?
Yeah, or either that, or there was just not a lot to judge on, potentially. Yeah. So if Bola, that screams rematch. Yeah, you've got to sort 100%. That shit out. So.
And Rose, obviously, Thug Rose, being such a popular champion, I'm the best, with Rogan after that win.
Yeah, she's definitely one of those fighters that is very much like mental aptitude, mental confidence is really where her strength in fighting comes from. So if she came into this maybe slightly off, then she's just a completely different fighter. She comes out with that killer mentality. That we've seen her, especially the classic "I'm the best, went out there and got Zhang done, and that's kind of where you think Thug Rose is, and this one maybe a little underdone for whatever reason, but screams rematch to me. Screams rematch.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. Shout out to Esky contributor. I'm going to say he's a contributor. Trent Naden went on Kentucky apparently with Carla Esparza around Europe. Said she was a very boring Kentucky person because she was out there running every morning, not drinking too much, looking after her health. Well, now she's a UFC champ, so good on you, Carla Esparza, of Ecuadorian descent, I believe. So we've got the Venezuelan Vixen being the champion in. What's the one up from this one? Women's... What
are we doing? We're talking strawweight. There's banter, and there's one between that, which would be... feathers above that.
It's banter.
I'm just trying to remember the champions. No, that's right. There's only the 3, yeah?
Yeah, there's only the 3 because they scrapped...
No, that's not right. There's
3. So Shevchenko is flyweight.
Yeah.
And then there's Bantam, which is Juliana Pena, the Venezuelan Vixen, and then featherweights. Disbanded.
No one cares about. There's 4. We're talking 4.
No, I think there's 3. I think featherweight's been.
Hold on, let's see. Featherweight, no one goes. So there's bantamweight.
There's strawweight.
And flyweight.
Yeah. So there's 3. Okay. And I'm pretty sure featherweight has been disbanded.
Sorry. We just said banter. No, fly.
Banter.
Sorry.
This is great banter.
Fly.
Yeah, this is shit banter.
Sorry. What did we say? There was fly, straw, banter, and featherweight.
Bantam,
yeah, but that's 4.
Yeah, but
featherweight doesn't count.
Featherweight's disbanded.
Yes. Well, no one fights there. It doesn't matter. Anyway, yes.
But it's still, Amanda Nunes is still the featherweight champ.
Yes.
Good chat there.
Anyway, Michael Chandon.
It's going to be fun listening back 1 year, when this podcast gets a reasonable following, not enough to quit our jobs, but, enough to keep doing it. And we listen back to some of this and just go, fuck, you guys are dumb.
And then we were like, yeah, nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
So
Michael, about blue whale jizz.
Michael Chandon, I can't make a segue with a joke for this. Chandler, sorry.
he's on the piss. He's on the Chandol. Michael Chandler.
Chandler sent Tony Ferguson to the shadow realm today with a front kick, made him stiff as a board.
I think a nasty front kick. This is one of those ones.
It wasn't like a Anderson Silva kind of one. It was more like a quick, hit him with the ball of the foot, and it was more like a quick short one. Hit him right on the chin, and
it was good night. I said to the misso, didn't pay for this one. Was trying to get a few, little streams coming through. I said, "You want to see someone get knocked out?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "That's weird. I don't know how I feel about that." Yeah, so I show her.
She wobbled over and
I show her, and she just go, "Oh," like looking away, kind of.
That's bad.
Yeah, really bad.
It was a bad one.
Chandler looks absolutely fucking jacked. Tony Ferguson.
He called McGregor.
He wants to get paid. He wants to get paid.
Oh, I think Charles Oliveira also called him out. Yeah.
McGregor.
They all.
Well, everyone wants a name, and that's a bit fucked as well, isn't it? In that's where this.
Yeah. Who cares about the lightweight belt? I just want McGregor.
And that's where this sport, where boxing aficionados will say, well, no, obviously this sport is all about names and yada yada. But
it's all money.
The counter is, fucking Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's where the fight world is, I guess. It's all about names.
It's eyeballs. So
eyeballs. Tony Ferguson, I think you had a reasonable take on this in the group chat today.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, is he done? Is he fighting past his prime? Kind of BJ Penn kind of vibes.
He just hasn't been different since the ACL. And the Khabib, that was a big one. He was there. The ACL, the whole domestic violence saga and everything that happened in the background. Yeah, he's just like that year, the division moved past him, unfortunately. And I'm not sure if he got his record there. I think that Justin Gaethje fight where Gaethje probably should have ended it sooner, just beat the shit out of him for as many rounds as he did. I think the problem is he's in that top there. Well, look at that list, bro.
He's coming off 4.
They're all top 5 dudes.
Yeah, coming off 4 losses against absolute killers twice now to Oliveira as well as Dariush and Gaethje. So 4 in a row. Do you think he keeps going, but maybe drops down as a bit of a gatekeeper kind of guy?
If he wants to keep fighting, I don't think he can keep giving him top 5 guys at this point. He's just. I don't think he's there in that kind of talent level. I think he's got to move back and hopefully maybe work his way into it. Of course, what is he, still 36? Maybe
38. He's 38.
Sorry, I couldn't see it from here. Yeah, that's a bit getting up there. Fighters, some can go into their 40s, like Glover as the example.
Yeah.
But
Arlovsky.
But same like take Glover for example. He had to move back in the division and work his way back up. And I think that's probably what Tony needs to do. He could potentially be the gatekeeper for that top 10 for a long time if he really wants to. But I don't want to be seeing him put in there with those top 5 guys and getting murdered constantly. I think that's not good for your long-term welfare.
That's 4 in a row. The BJ Penn thing comes to mind, and maybe that's again, not quite the same comparison. BJ Penn, champion of the world formerly, but at the end of his career, he got tailed up a fair bit, and it's kind of like, when do you quit?
Well, you could see the same for BJ Penn. You could see the UFC had moved on in that time frame. Same with take Ronda for example. She was on the top of the world, and her publicity moved that division to the point where it is now, where they just all move past her. The skill set just keeps evolving and getting better and better. It's hard to it's hard to stay at the top for long periods of time. So give a guy like John Jones his props for that in that regards, how he keeps refining himself. Speaking of which, I thought Shogun Hua potentially had died because you hadn't heard from him in a hot minute, and he's 45, I think.
45.
Coming up against...
that's good. It's good when you're talking about 45-year-old fighters and we're talking about 18-year-old NRL players as well. and you think, we're in that nice middle ground where it's okay, it's all right. We haven't fucking worked out our lives just yet.
Gave him
40.
Yeah.
So,
40. Oh, just 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel a lot worse.
Yeah. Well, he's been fighting since
you
he
think
was
about
18.
Shogun Rua, obviously synonymous with the UFC.
With pride, bro. Like, he was 2005 Pride champion. There you go. There's some quick stats where 45. Going against,
45.
in the light heavyweight division, he's undersized, really, for that division, realistically. But in going against a big dude and St. Prix, I didn't think he was ever going to get a chance to win.
No.
By all accounts, this was a snooze fest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I went to split decision. And I wouldn't surprise me if Shogun was a little bit gun shy in this. But hey, not unsurprising. It's been a while since the last time he'd fought. I believe, 2 years. There you go.
Dude, OSP is so much bigger than him as well.
Yes.
Like, good on him for taking that fight. And again, it comes back to the Oliveira. Sorry, not the Oliveira, the Chandler Ferguson chat in is this the best decision for you in life right now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think so for Shogun. No, let's move on from there.
What was the last fight on the main card?
So Cowboy Cerrone got cancelled because he had food poisoning overnight.
Oh, shit.
So he couldn't fight. After weighing in, of course, he couldn't fight. Whether it was food poisoning or his weight cut.
Or food poisoning.
Yeah.
The old Lionel Hutz.
Yeah.
There's food poisoning and then there's food poisoning.
So they bumped these two boys up, and I don't think I knew too much about these two.
I've seen Chaos Williams before.
Yeah, okay. Losing another split decision, 3 in this one.
Definitely a cool name. He was coming off 2 wins. Goes down to Randy Brown. Randy Brown, he's not ranked, is he? Can you chase that one up, Monks? But he now has 3 wins on the trot. He's lost to Vicente Luque. Maybe he's ranked. I'm sure I can bring that one up in just a second. Obviously, you can see 3 boys that were doing Mother's Day things and didn't watch the card as it
didn't watch this
unfolded today.
Not currently ranked.
Not currently ranked, but maybe after that win.
Might be close, yeah.
Other fights that happened today, Canelo was in the boxing world. He
lost?
He lost. But I can't remember because this was a light heavyweight fight, and I have a feeling he came up for this to challenge for this belt. So,
he did. He did.
He did have a rematch clause, so they're probably going to redo this. He lost by 2 rounds, essentially, I think, for the final scorecards, 115 to 113.
Against Dimitri Bivol, who
was the current champion.
Current champion and underdog.
Yeah,
with
big lad.
With Canelo going up, which is an absolute testament to how good a boxer Canelo Alvarez is.
Yeah, well, that's Canelo's first loss since 2013, I think, from memory. So
look at his record: 57 losses, 57 wins, 2 losses, 2 no contests.
Second, well, his only other defeat was
39
Mayweather,
KOs.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather was his only other.
This Bivol, he's 20-0, 11 KOs. So maybe Canelo bit off more than he could chew in this one.
And what, he held that belt since 2016? Is that what that says there?
Yes, something like that.
A version of this belt. So as in, there's 4 different light heavyweight belts. He's had one.
This is the problem with boxing.
Yeah. Well, it's the problem with the different associations, etc.
We should have the On The Esky belt.
Yeah.
The champion of the On The Esky world.
Worst dribbler.
No, we actually fight.
No, it's fight.
Yeah, it's a fight. There's no weight classes because there's only 3 of us.
Open weight. Old UFC days, that's what it is. No rules.
Yeah, we can all get juiced up as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Kick each other's teeth out. All good.
Old UFC days.
Yeah. Biting groin shots, eye pokes, all good. Let's go, baby.
It might get some views. It might get some fucking views.
Do better than the podcast.
Well, if you're slinging steroids, get out.
We'll just go back to around your place, right?
Careful, man. I don't want to get killed by a drug dealer.
Yeah, not his place specifically.
No.
Or SWAT. My complex.
Yeah.
My complex.
Yeah.
You can look at that in the Canberra Times.
Yes. Fight announcements. So a big one, Volk versus Holloway, probably the biggest one. Can you find that card for me? I can't remember if it's that card or the easy one. I think July 2nd is what it's meant to be. So a quick turnaround for Volk, especially taking on someone like Holloway for the trilogy. So, of course, definitely looking forward to that. And I think they're putting together a really good looking card for this one.
251. When are we talking?
No, that's the old one. We need to know
that's
what 3 is. Just put 3 in there. Yeah, they got set for you 276.
276.
That's on BJ Penn's website. Go just search UFC 276. Because I think they're putting together a good card. Some chat about Izzy taking on Jared Canelo as well, but Izzy said that was...
That is definitely not his name.
It's getting late on Sunday. Cannoneer, yes.
Marge Simpson driving an SUV is fighting Israel out of Sonia.
I've got to get a Simpsons reference in there somewhere. Izzy said that was cap on Twitter, though, so I don't think anything's been booked for that. Do you have a card for that one? Scroll down.
I think
no card. Announced. There you go. Militia Tate on there. Jessica I. Maybe it's not this one. Maybe it's the Izzy card. The Jared with Jared.
Rose Clark, Uriah Hall.
Yeah. Robbie Law was on this. So there's this is it. Yeah. So Sean's on this one, and I think Nate Dizzard versus Hazmat's meant to be on this too.
Oh, I did hear rumors of that.
You again,
Hamzat, sorry.
He's not a hazmat suit.
Hazmat suit, yes. Hamzat.
He's not someone that's going into deep clean COVID infected room.
Yeah, in Shanghai.
How good's the last 30 minutes of a podcast?
Or just get loose, bro. That's the best bit. So I think that Nate had been begging for a fight, etc., etc. So UFC said, "Fine, fuck you. Have Hamzat there and get your ass punched in."
Nate is crazy for taking this fight. To be honest,
yeah,
like he's achieved so much, but that's a killer, man.
I think there was some leak. There was a picture of the card in the back of someone's like media leak or something from one of the UFC bigwigs. So I'm not sure if that's official. That was on there, and that's been the chat. So they're still working on that one. Still working on the Izzy fight, but some big cards coming up in the next couple of months. And Paul Gallen's fighting some Australian heavyweight that no one knows about on Wednesday.
Jake Paul, Sonny Bill Williams.
Yep, that's one.
Sorry, is that happening?
Just back on this Gallen fight card. We've also got Nikita Tsu and Harry Garside both fighting.
Yeah, Sue's fighting on that. That's in Australia. Why is Sue fighting in Australia again?
Coming home, etc.
Yeah. Anyway, it's in Australia.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Paul Gallen, though, which is disappointing.
Yeah, pretty much. When you mentioned Floyd Mayweather,
he's got an exhibition fight in a couple of weeks.
In a few weeks' time against Don Moore as well. So he must be running out of money or something.
Yeah. And Sonny Bill, is that happening?
It's not confirmed. Sonny Bill has vowed apparently to hand Jake Paul his first loss, but nothing confirmed.
Yeah, I heard about these hit lists because this was old news, unfortunately for us. 2 weeks ago, Tommy Fury, Anderson Silva, Michael Bisping was on that list as well. Michael Bisping got stuck into Jake Paul about how he's useless, etc., etc.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the biggest name probably was Eddie Hearn, like the boxing promoter. He was Jake Paul's not a real fighter.
Yeah.
Not a real boxer.
Yeah. Anderson Silva
if he wants to prove himself, like Sonny Bill Williams is the guy that he needs to fight to sort of legitimize himself.
Yeah, and if he wants a legend, like UFC legend's got a name, Anderson Silva's actually doing boxing now. So
how old's Anderson these days? We were talking about 45 before. He might actually be 45.
46.
Yeah. Let's have a look. An old Google knows.
Old Wikipedia's.
47.
Yeah. Jeez. 46 a month ago. That's close enough.
You were very close.
Yeah.
Still would not want to fight him.
No.
And turn it into boxing. No. And, I don't... For like a size matchup with Jake Paul, that's a good one.
I wouldn't want to fight a dead former champion of the world. Just that their spirit might come and claim me.
Ooh, is there one in the UFC? I don't think there is.
Boxing, I imagine there
Boxing, definitely.
That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, well, currently, yes.
Yeah. Anyways, bit of dribble. Is that it for fights?
Yes, that's all the news in the fighting world currently.
Stay tuned for the Esky, the Esky belt, the one official.
Yeah, the spicy, juicy belt.
The unified belt. Oh, goodness.
Of all the sauce.
Yeah, with us all on steroids. And we still look the same. All right, F1
Actually,
boys.
you'd be the funniest because you'd be super top heavy and no carbs.
They're the hardest muscle to grow. Yeah. Shout out to any skinny calf boys out there. It's genetics, man. You can train them fucking 5 times a week. Seriously. All right.
Trust me, I tried.
I tried my best.